The following program is intended for mature audiences.
Oh, yeah. It's been a while, but we're back on Flesh Wound After Dark to talk some erotic thrillers. I am Flesh Wound and joined by producer Todd. How goes it?
I don't know. I was just zoning out, so I just had to miss that whole introduction.
Well, you missed the best part of the show.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Jesus.
Always at the top. Always, yeah. I think somebody somewhere has clipped it and made some ASMR of just my intros for Flesh Wound After Dark. They cut out Ozzy because that's like, yeah, that's a boner killer. But yeah. How are you doing tonight, Todd?
I was fine. Now I'm just utterly disgusted. But other than that,
Just think of Tane McClure and yeah, you're good. That makes it all go away. But yeah, we haven't done one of these in a while, so I'm very excited. We still got I think we still got several double features coming your way. I'm not sure, at least as of this recording, if any new SkinMax double features have been announced, but man, there's still a lot of gold out there that they need to tackle. So yeah. Without further ado, we will get into tonight's double feature, which is Stripshow and Target of Seduction. And we'll kick it off with Stripshow first from the magical year of 1996. Probably not going to be too difficult to figure out what this one's piggybacking. This movie is from writer-director Gary Dean Arona, and it follows exotic dancer Raquel leaves the business with millions when one of her wealthy elderly patrons dies. She tries to patch things up with her old boyfriend Cowboy, that is his name, while serving as a mentor to Kara, who is new to the business. Okay, so yeah, Vegas strippers, showgirls, whatever you want to call it. Obviously, this is, of course, piggybacking Showgirls from the year before. And it does star the beautiful Tane McClure, who is probably just about as prolific as anybody in this genre. And then once again, the SkinMax stuff, not all of it's really erotic thriller. In fact, this one's got a lot of unusual shit going on that we'll get into. All right, so first off, as we do with these, because we want to let you know kind of the history of the releases a little bit. Obviously, we've got the new double feature here. Stripshow has been on DVD before, long time ago. This is one of those Scimitar releases, and this is the uncut version. Now, it's a little complicated with this one. So, Stripshow, some of the stuff that's cut has nothing to do with nudity. In fact, it's a little odd. There's, I told Todd, we're USA Up All Night guys, and Stripshow has a couple absolutely hilarious edits where so
which is weird because it's not like
yeah,
because it's not like it's like the TV cut. It's like
it's bizarre because
I'm blaming Blockbuster.
this version of Stripshow has full nudity. Yes. I mean, Monique Parent has full frontal nudity in this, sex scenes and everything. I don't know who edited this down. And it's like I said, it's only about I think 10 minutes or so. And a good chunk of it, there's a scene when both girls are out in the desert and they are just wandering. Tane McClure has just had a fight with this former rodeo guy just named Cowboy. That's his legal name apparently. And they're just wandering in the desert. For some reason, Monique Dupree and not Monique Dupree, that's the Scream Queen, Monique Parent, the softcore goddess, had I don't know, very bizarre. Just meets her, and all of a sudden they're just roaming the desert together. And the part that's cut, they come across this Indian guy who literally has a baseball cap that just says Indian on it, and he just kind of drops some philosophy on them in this shack in the middle of the desert. It's a very what the fuck am I watching? Are we trying to get arty here with the softcore titty flick? Really bizarre. He pops up for about 2 seconds, in this version, and that was basically the setup for a lesbian scene between Tane McClure and Monique Parent, and that's kind of like the bulk of it. It's just a weird scene that felt like, for whatever reason, they tacked it on for, I don't know, running time or something. I mean, the movie would have probably still been close to 90 minutes, so I'm not quite sure why it exists or what the story is there, but that's the bulk of it. It's missing that scene, but once again, there's full frontal nudity, there's all of this different stuff. So I don't know. It's a very sloppy edit job, and it's kind of funny, quite frankly. There's a scene where all three of them are in a hotel room.
Yeah.
Cowboy, Monique Parent, and Tane McClure. And Tane McClure is basically trying to almost scare her away from being a stripper in Vegas.
I don't think that's what was going on there, Dan. She was trying to make her go farther than she wanted to do. Totally different thing.
I kind of got the vibe. See, that's the thing about this movie. It's a weird one. It delivers all the nudity you could want. I'm a big Monique Parent fan, so I will say.
It's funny
sells.
with Tane McClure. I haven't I see her dad every time I see her, so it kind of weirds me out. It's kind of a boner killer.
Doug.
Yeah.
Todd sees the boobs and he just sees at the Earth's core flash into his brain, and it kills it for him. This is a weird one because it's not a good movie. It really isn't. The guy that plays Cowboy, Steve Teetsort, is the kind of the last person that you would expect in this sort of thing. He just looks like some older dopey cowboy. It's very bizarre casting. I don't know if he knew somebody or something. Very, very strange. But yeah, so they're kind of screwing, in my opinion, with Monique Parent, and they're like, here, Tane McClure is the cowboy, doesn't like what's going on, and he's like, I will give you $10,000 to drop your panties, and they're like, there's 3 or 4 things they kind of bribe her into doing, and then there's a scene where it's like, I want you to finger yourself. Then it's literally the screen goes black.
Time for commercial.
Just goes black, and they're on to the next thing. Which, once again, is very bizarre because I promise Monique Parent didn't actually, just doing some fingering.
Double click her mouse. Yeah, we got
it. She didn't double click her mouse. She didn't go fishing for tuna. She definitely did not do that. So they cut. It goes black. It's a really bizarre cut, but then they're still continuing on to full nudity with the cowboy banging her. So it's odd.
That was some sorry banging. I'm just saying, even for belly bump even for belly button bumping standards, it was pretty bad.
Yeah, she just kind of, the cowboy was like really indignant about what was being done, but it didn't stop her from having her
Well, I
ride
mean,
the old baloney pony. um, but I was entertained by this movie. It's an absolute clusterfuck. Again, I saw it years and years ago. Once again, this is an old ass DVD from early DVD, I believe. And I don't know. Do I even recommend this? I love Monique Parent, and you see a lot of her in this. And she didn't always have the starring roles either. I mean, she kind of went on and got some more, you know, uh, legit, whatever that means, kind of roles. She did kind of shed the softcore label somewhat, although that's what she's always going to be known for. But she did movies like The Fergusons and stuff like that, where it didn't fall in that Cinemax canon. But yeah, Todd, this is what did you think of this one? It's a tough one to review because it checks the nudity box even in the edited form. And I like Tane McClure. Talk about a weird career once again, that she was doing these movies, but still somehow played Reese Witherspoon's mom in Legally Blonde. What about you, Todd? Did you like this one?
well, I mean, obviously I did. I mean, you're nailed. It's not a good movie, but it's a mess, but it's entertaining. So that's all I ever really ask out of a movie, is to be entertained, and this delivered that. As
Yeah.
as dumb as it was with its fade to blacks to avoid some finger blasting. Yeah, it was a good time.
And you have to get that original version if you want to see them go have barbecued lasagna with this dude in the middle of the desert for some bizarre reason. But yeah, I recommend it if you're a diehard, specifically Monique Parent fan, and she is one of my favorites. So I recommend it. It is a bad movie. Even, like I said, the script is just a bizarre clusterfuck in this one. But what do I rate this? Skin quotient is high. I still do miss the lesbian scene a little bit. So I'm a 2.5 on this movie.
I get that, but I'm gonna give it a 3 just because I was entertained. It hit me right today, and it was
Yeah.
It's not a good movie, but honestly, we're picking these up for some entertainment, and that's what it was.
I knew you'd laugh your ass off at the USA Up All Night cut.
Oh yeah, I was like, oh yeah, this is what Dad was talking about. This is it.
Finger yourself, and he's like, and now after we come back from
I felt like we needed to see Gilbert Godfrey for a minute.
I should give a little bit of background on this director, Gary Dean Arona. If that sounds familiar, he's somebody that actually kicked off his career with some softcore stuff and some sex comedies. He did The Great Bikini Off-Road Adventure from 1994. There's an obscure one we'll have to do at some point. He also directed the Bikini Car Wash Company 2, which I think was his debut, before going into Triple X Fair, but he kind of jumped back and forth. He did the Hotel Erotica TV series, and was really, for a stretch in the 2000s, kind of a parody guy for his adult work. He did the Friday the 13th parody, did Silence of the Lambs, Halloween. He did Top Heavy Chef, good one. CSI Miami, Psycho, Scarface. He did a lot of
We've reviewed quite a few of his work, actually.
We have indeed.
I don't know which Halloween. There's about 3 of them right around the same time. So
we've kind of run down Tane McClure before, but
yeah.
Interesting career. She did both Legally Blonde. She was in Go, which is a really good
That was a
movie.
great 90s film.
Go is a great
2000,
90s
well,
film.
Is it?
98.
It's right at the end. I know it is. Yeah.
Shadow Hours. She did Treasure Hunt for Roger Corman. That's a fun, hard to find uncut Corman softcore film. She was in Death Spa, Bikini Drive-In, I really like that movie. Assault of the Party Nerds 2. She did Crawl Space with Klaus Kinski in 1986. So we know she has trauma.
I was gonna say she survived that.
Scorn 2, Midnight Tease 2, Vice Academy 5. She's definitely one of the more prolific stars of erotic thrillers and Cinemax fare in general, and was not afraid to have, hot and heavy scenes. Like I said, if you get the uncut version of this one, there is the lesbian scene with Monique Parent that's quite sultry.
Doug didn't approve.
Doug did not approve. I'm sure he's very cross with her. Monique Parent, we talk a lot about her. She did a lot. She was in Masseuse, Dark Secrets with Julie Strain, Sins of Desire. I always recommend it. It's not as bump and grindy, but she did the erotic vampire drama Bloodthirsty from 1999. Gets to do some great acting in that. She was in Busted, the Corey Feldman comedy.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about that one.
Yeah, not that other guy in that one.
Yeah, that one's got a dark history.
She was in Tender Flesh for Jess Franco, so she kind of made the rounds. Of course, Wynorski and Olin Ray. She did Witches of Brestwick, Bikini Royale, Breastford Wives, Voodoo Dolls. All great options to check her out in, and most of those you can still get a hold of.
Some of the better stuff from Surrender Cinema there you named at the end.
There you go. Yeah, there's some Voodoo Dolls is a good one. All right, so on to our second film on this set, which is Target of Seduction. This one's from 1995, and director Ralph Portillo, who we'll talk about here in a second. So in this one, beautiful book editor Samantha Jenkins, played by Betsy Boyle, begins to receive anonymous gifts from a secret admirer. At first, she's flattered until the gifts and letters become threatening. Who is her stalker? The handsome writer? The rejected coworker? Her roommate's lover? It's anyone's guess in this sexy thriller, co-starring Tane McClure. All right, so Target of Seduction. I'll run the cast down first, and the director. So you may not know the name Ralph Portillo, or you might if you've been picking up these some of these sets, but he is the director of several softcore films like Bare Exposure, Midnight Temptations, which was, I believe, on another double feature, Naked Lies, Bare Deception, and Prelude to Love. He also is known for directing some particularly awful horror movies, including Fever Lake and the first Bloody Murder, the not good Bloody Murder, despite what some people might want to tell you. But this guy kind of, he rose up the ranks a little bit for WWE Studios as a producer of Fighting with My Family, the Page biopic. He also did Buddy Games 1 and 2 and produced The Marine 5 and 6. So there you go.
5 and 6. I think that those had
HBK and Becky Lynch, I believe, appeared in the last one. So yeah. So The Miz and the Jizz for Mr. Ralph Portillo. He's responsible for a lot of stuff. As far as the cast goes, this is a little more brief. Betsy Boyle, our lead, is Samantha. She was a one and done. Wendy Sage only did one film and brief TV run. And Stephanie Carlisle, she was in Hollywood Dreams 1 and 2 and Bare Exposure also for this director. So that's more or less the quick rundown on the cast for that film. So talking about the movie, which also apparently at one point was released as Mistress of Seduction 2. If you can maybe find an old version under that. As far as I can tell, this one is uncut. I haven't found any indication that it's cut. That does not mean that it's not, but certainly not as obvious as our previous film.
Well, most are not as obvious as the previous film.
Yeah. Well, you had that run for a little while where they would put out a softcore film in like some 70 some minute cut, and it would be missing almost everything. Like it'd be one of those, like maybe the girl drops her top and then the rest of it is completely cut.
Right.
So in this one, Tane McClure is kind of an aging model. She's not getting the jobs she used to get, and she's kind of agreeing to more explicit stuff. And this one's also not very good in my opinion. There's not much in the way of story, which yet once again, believe it or not, some of these things work better with the story. The twist is extremely obvious. It won't take a lot of brain power to figure out who the killer is. But I kind of didn't like some of the foggy, sun-soaked sex scenes that they were doing. Sometimes in these movies, you just want to see the action.
Yeah, it's like I can't see it. 0 stars. Does it even count?
It's like, come on, guys, move a little. Let me just see what's going on. And it gets a little bit boring. I'm guessing for you, because I know you're kind of like, I don't need as much bump and grind to enjoy these movies. I'm guessing you didn't love this one, but I could be wrong. There might be like just a hint of camp maybe that might have pushed it over the edge.
I mean, I wasn't miserable. It wasn't a great one.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like, I was on the middle on this one. I wasn't thrilled. I think the other one, there's a lot more fun to be had, but
yeah,
this one's just, I mean, in the right mindset, it's enjoyable enough, but not one I'm revisiting often.
No, there's better options for Tane McClure. I mean, again, there's some nudity. It just, it's a lot of these sort of sun-soaked daydreams, and this was definitely the weaker film, I think, on the set for me. Once again, Stripshow's not great, but it's a little more entertaining, and I'm a Monique Parent guy first and foremost. As it stands, Tane McClure is good in this. She's always good, but I'm a 1.5 on this one. I think this is much weaker.
I'm a little higher. I'm a 2 on this one. It's below average for me. So
okay. All right. So once again, double feature, and for Stripshow at the very least, if you really want to hunt for an oldie, check out the Scimitar, or what was it? Yeah,
Platinum?
yeah,
Scimitar.
Yeah. Scimitar Entertainment release there.
All right.
There we go. All right, guys. Stay tuned. We've got more of these SkinMax double features going, and be sure to check in some past shows that we did. We've already done more than half at this point of these releases, so be sure to check all that out. Check out our Black Emmanuel shows, and if you are a Flesh Wound After Dark aficionado, consider checking out our Patreon at patreon.com/fleshwoundfeatures. It all starts at just $1, and you can check out reviews of every single Femme Fatales episode. We had a lot of fun doing those, and spoiler alert, generally speaking, we fucking love femme fatales, so you'll want to check that out. On that note, good night, good luck, and come again hard. Yeah.
I'm sorry for Dan putting that in your ears.
You can't cut that. USA Up All Night edit. Oh,
Good
yeah.
evening. All right, fade to black.
Yeah.